I drove by their Disney project last week. That is impressive. I know you saw the numbers on
Oh,
that.
yes. This is something I really wanted to talk about because I think this is a fascinating project.
Yeah, I think people don't like when we first heard that they were building out the housing for Disney's internship program. I mean, I'm as guilty of this as anybody. I was like, oh, that's another property. It's like a dorm. No, this is a huge project that's it when it's completed, it's going to be over 10% of their available beds, I believe. This is I mean, I drove by it and they've only completed 4 out of 10 phases
Yeah.
of the project. And it we drove by what looked like an apartment. I didn't know what it was at first. We drove by what looked like an apartment complex, except it went on forever. And I said, "What is that?" And I thought I said that, and we were right next to Disney World at the time. I said that has to be the apartment, and it was. It's the Flamingos Crossings Village is what it's called, and it's going to have almost 5,000 beds with 4 out of 10 phases complete. This is a massive community. I mean, 4,000 beds is like a small college,
Yeah.
like the student population. They're anticipating 85% occupancy. I know I had a lot of friends in college who did the Disney internship program. It's a big program, and it's tougher to think of a tenant that's more safe paying their bills than Disney.
Right.
I mean,
Well, go ahead.
no, when you compare it to I mean, college students are great, but rent collection's not 100%. You have people run into financial trouble throughout the year. The Disney internship program's a pretty reliable tenant, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they were talking about it on the earnings call, talking about how they're making the building itself really sort of Disneyfied and getting that sort of community aspect of it. On the earnings call, they were very bullish about it, and I mean, there's just so much potential for that because there's also the whole Disney leadership institute and all of that. So if this goes well, there's massive opportunities for expansion. And I know you just bought in Orlando. I think that's a city that is really interesting. I talked to the head of their realtor association last week because Orlando, I think people just think of it as just Disney, but that is a city with a lot of growth potential.
Yeah, people don't kind of think it's like built out. No, it's not. I mean, Disney owns
No.
enough land; they could build another theme park or two if they wanted to. And that's when we saw the housing. We were heading home from our Orlando house. Um, it's it's got a lot of potential, and right now it's packed in Orlando. And one of their biggest sources of business, international tourism, hasn't really come back yet.
Right.
So it feels busy now but compared to pre-pandemic levels. It's really not. And it's a lot of potential to kind of use that for American Campus to use that to kind of leverage other relationships over time. I mean, Disney's not the only one that has a big internship program that needs housing in the country. So it's kind of an outside the box way to really grow the business.
Well, and I'd love that as a test case too, because you can't, like you said, you can't really have a more sort of prestige client. If that works out really well, that is a great way for them to show this and to really get into an area that is sort of like their core business, but also just adjacent enough to potentially have a different type of income. And I think that's really interesting because I think sometimes when you have a company that is a pure play on one thing, there is always that risk if there's something that occurs. So it's nice to see just a little bit of something else that they can focus on that's slightly different.